this is Jan Birch, and you're listening to the Movie Raid Show.
It's time for the Movie Raid, and tonight's victim is Jan Birch, that plays in many films such as The People Under the Stairs, such as Eternal Code, and Tale of Tales, the TV show. Hello.
Hey, how are you, man? Great to be here.
Fantastic, man. So tell us a little bit about Tale of Tales. Is this still circulating a little bit, or is it on hold due to this little unfortunate epidemic?
It's a little bit on hold. I mean, basically, we shot 4 episodes, and we were supposed to shoot another 4 in May, June, which is now pushed. So hopefully we get to it soon. It's a really, really cool show by writer-director-producer Harley Wallen. I've done this is the 4th project with Harley now. We had a very good time on set. I really, really enjoyed my character. Harley created for me, and then we created a little bit extra together here. And a 70s hippie drug dealer in a strip club. It's like a crime thriller series. It's a seriousness in it. I'm basically more of like the comedic element. Like if you remember the janitor in Three's Company, the guy who just shows up and it's kind of a little relief to the rest of the story. That's kind of my character in this TV show, and acts and talks. It's kind of like gives that little bit of a relief on the TV show with the otherwise quite serious subject matter that the series is dealing with.
Now establishing a relationship, being in several films of the same director and who was also an actor, and how does it really affect you? The fact is that you both are in the same boat in a way, but sharing a different vision.
I love working with Harley, and also these are the kind of relationships, working relationship. You as an actor, at least me, the way I look at it, you always look. I mean, I've been very fortunate in my career working with some really good people that became more your friend than your boss. Like everybody from Roger Corman that I did Slumber Party Massacre 3 with, to Wes Craven, who was a very dear friend of mine on The People Under the Stairs, and then Chuck Russell and Bless the Child. I mean, it's a tight group, people that I'm including Harley in now, that we listen to each other to make the work better. Harley, as well as the other great directors I work with, are allowing me to spread my wings more, and if he doesn't like it, he lets me know right away, or he might like it and we elaborate on it, or we do something in between. But the relationship I have with Harley right now is exceptionally well for the both of us, I think, and I really appreciate it. We also have another thing in common, and we're both Swedish, both born and raised in a different country than U.S., and we came over here for the entertainment industry, and I think that talks to both of us that immediately when we met the first time. The fact that he is an actor, he started as an actor and then developed into a director. He lets you play, spread your wings a little bit. He's working with you on the ideas, but he listens to you like that. We work really well together. A beginning relationship, almost like I feel that strongly with Harley, and anytime he has a new project, I know I'm on his mind, which is the best place you can be as an actor when you work with directors. So I had another movie actually in April. That's why the TV show took a break in April, because we were supposed to shoot a vampire Viking movie called Beneath Us All, played the Viking vampire. The movie starts 1,000 years ago, being chased through the woods, and then they put me in Sweden, and then they put me on a Viking ship, and they travel over to this continent, and they bury me here, and then we flash to present time. The movie goes from there. He's got another really, really cool project right now called Finding Nicole, who is based on a true story, and Netflix is releasing a mini-series documentary about the same subject, spousal abuse in the home. Betrayed, first movie I shot with Harley, was about human trafficking. Eternal Code was based on true facts that they're trying to translate a whole head on a new body. Like if you're a paraplegic, you could actually get a new body from a brain-dead person. Now in the movie, it's more like a chip. It's done more of on an IT level, but that's also based on true science. He did that movie, and then obviously, of course, we did Agamo's Gate, which is a horror movie, which, Harley really wanted to do a horror movie after we started working together. That was obviously not based on a true story, but it was a lot of fun.
Establishing a following can be really tough in terms of viewership. How do you actually maintain to build that and continue to bond with the viewers of the craft of art and use it as a challenge, or do you think it's more intriguing to be a challenge?
Yeah, no, it's a little bit. The world is obviously different now, not only because of this corona pandemic that we are dealing with right now as we speak, but also the fact that movies are going more and more into streaming, and more movies are available immediately after release. They don't really wait 6 to 8 to 12 weeks on the theaters which personally I still prefer to go see a movie in the theaters, call me old school, but that's how I would like to experience a good movie. Now we have the cable, we have the streaming, we have the computers, we have our iPads, and it's a lot more outlet. Now with Amazon and Netflix, I think they released something like 400 plus something TV series last year. Obviously that it's a positive because it's more work and more opportunities available, and it's a negative because it's easy to get lost. Another negative part is you don't really get the same chances as you had in the old days. If like Friends wasn't successful until the third season. If that was today, the third season would have never happened. They would have killed it after the first season when they didn't have the ratings. And same with Seinfeld. Seinfeld, it took 2-3 years for people to catch on. And look what happened in the end of those series. So I get that part of it. It's a little sad we don't get the projects the same chance as they had in the past. On the flip side, you have a lot more possibilities of work as an actor with 500 TV shows being made instead of possibly 30. It's give and take, reaching out to fans and all that. I come from there, not to make myself old, but I come from the side when we didn't have any likes or clicks or followers, and it didn't really matter how many followers you had as long as you could act and you did a good job in the interview or the audition or the meeting with the director, you got the job. On that flip side, one thing that I really don't like is that you could be up for a part against somebody that has 1 million more followers, but they might not be as good of an actor, and they will get the job because of the marketing possibilities. And that's a major disadvantage, I think, in today's age. If you don't have millions of followers, which I'm one of those actors, came into the social media game a little late, maybe. 10 years ago now, but still, it's a weird thing. How and why people follow certain people that I've never heard of, and then some people I've heard of don't have many followers. Very famous people. I'm like, YZ, who I never heard of, have 2 million followers. I'm like, how does this work, really? That part is a little different, obviously. I believe, at least for me, to catch up on that and really get the fan base you need nowadays in social media. And, the star meter on IMDb and the social media, they look at all these numbers when 15 years ago was about who's the best actor. I obviously, personally, truly prefer the latter.
Fabrication is really the way at this point, since now the physicalness of trying to get art out there has become more and more just not exactly being obsolete, but just more downscaling and more the bottom of the food chain now than like we have all this internet and stuff like that. Like fabrication is now the thing.
Yeah, and like I said, I've been up for parts. No names mentioned and no titles mentioned, but I've been up for some really big studio things. I know for a fact, I told my people straight off the bat that he's not getting it because he doesn't have enough social media followers. It's the blunt truth sometimes. That it shouldn't be like that, in my opinion, obviously. But it's hard to change it now because that's the mentality. And the millennials, that's all they do. And the next generation after that, now the young kids, they have iPads at 5 years old, and that's what everybody's doing. So obviously, the studio system and the distributors and the marketing agencies, they have to follow. I do believe, though, that it would be beneficial for everyone involved at some point if there was a little bit more in between, that the talent is still the most important, and then go to the followers instead of the other way around.
Oh yeah, because it's like going to a play or going to a musical. You see people that used to have programs in their hands, now they have cell phones.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where the followers come in. And to really be on Twitter, you got to tweet as a celebrity, or they tweet like 50 times a day. How do you do that when you have to work on a film or a TV show at the same time? Obviously, some people just hire people to do it for them, which is it's a solution that's doable for most people. But at the same time, do you want to focus and concentrate on bringing something great in the form of art to an audience, or do you want to focus more on making sure they don't unfollow you? We should do our work, and hopefully people will follow.
Do you think that oftentimes or less an artist can choose their values rather than fabricate them as well?
Yeah, I believe they should. I don't believe in any fabrication, to be honest, if you can avoid it. I would like to be as true as honest as I can be as an artist, as an actor, bringing joy and entertainment to people. I think most of the people that fabricate, not most, but a lot of people that fabricate, at some point, it's all going to come down. I've seen several examples of things crashing in the end, and truth always prevails. I honestly believe that the more you are yourself and who you really are, the people that follow, they will follow. And the people that doesn't like you because of a certain opinion or character, so maybe they shouldn't follow you. I mean, I don't think you should try to get everybody to follow you if they don't believe who you are and believe in what you do.
Self-judgment, especially on an artist, can be brutal at times in terms of like getting their art out there, in terms of how to perceive a role. Can it actually be more of a tool for clarity and perception for the most part, and actually turn it into something else like that instead of more of a burden on that?
Yeah, I mean, self-judgment, self-criticism, it's healthy. I think to an extent, some actors or artists, they're never happy with anything, even on a very high-end A-list level that don't ever watch their movies. They don't want to self-criticize themselves, and if they feel like that could be a disadvantage or a negative, then they do the right thing by not staying away. I trust the directors a lot. I trust my gut. And if I feel in my gut that this is the right thing and the director completely disagrees, I try at least to get one take the way I see it. I have actually an experience on that with Harley, Eternal Code. The last scene right before, without spoiling anything, right before I'm disappearing from the film, so to speak, that last scene, I had it more, because I'm speaking about my wife dying and all that, so I had more of an emotional approach to the way I embraced the character and that particular mood he was in and that particular scene and feelings on the emotional level specifically. I came to set that day with that quite heavy emotional approach on that scene, and Harley's like, I like it, but that's not how I see it. And he came up with a different approach, which I didn't agree with at all at the time. I told him right off the bat, I said, I think this is way too light. He's taking it way too light, talking about his wife dying or being dead and how he could have saved her this lightly. But Harley's like, well, trust me, that we'll take one more take the way you see it, and then please give me a couple takes the way I feel that we should approach it, and we did, and he actually kept his version in the cut. And when I saw the film, I got it. I understood what he was doing. When I was working on the character, that approach didn't come to mind for me, but it did work for the film. When you saw the big picture and why he decided to go in whatever direction he did, not just in the whole picture as the film itself, but the whole picture of the thought behind it. It did work. It worked really well. The director is the captain of the ship. Don't take me wrong on that. It's the captain of the ship. And I have worked with directors who doesn't listen at all. And of course, I'm a professional actor. I'm there to work, so I will follow their lead, whatever direction they want me to take. But I mean, it's always very fulfilling and beneficial for the actual project, in my opinion. And I've seen the results on screen when the director does open up and let you put your 10 cents in. Like I said, on this particular scene with Harley and Internal Code, he still went the direction he wanted, but he could have been more of a, no, this is the way we're going to do it, and I wouldn't have had the chance to try my thing out, and I would have always thought to myself, I wonder what that would have looked like. I know this looks good, his version, but I didn't even get to do my thing. Now, because he let me do it, I can watch the movie, I watched that particular segment, and I can see that the way I approached it, he approached, I should say, worked better than the way I approached it. But if I would have never tried, I might have always thought about it that way.
But go ahead and plug in any websites or anything that we can check out right now.
Anybody that's interested to check out his obvious films we discussed that they can get on almost all media, streaming and by DVD right now. It's Eternal Code and Agamon's Gate, and also another quite recent film that came out 2018. That's also Harley that we discussed here, was Betrayed. That's with Billy Worth and Richard Tyson and all kinds of fun people we have. And Scout Kelly Compton is in Eternal Code with us. Yeah, my website is janbirch.com. You can check that out. You can just scroll through some great pictures, see what I'm up to, see what's coming next. You can buy a Stairmaster t-shirt and order some signed photos if you like. If you like what I do and interested in what's coming up next and so forth, please follow me on social media. I know we talked about it a million times, but it does help tremendously nowadays. And it's on Instagram, it's Jan Birch page, and then Facebook and Twitter is just Jan Birch, YANBIRCH, just as it sounds. You can check out Jan Birch on YouTube. More in development and so forth. You can check out IMDb. I think all movie fans are aware of IMDb at this point. You can get a lot of information from there.
There you have it, everybody. That is actor Jan Birch.
Thank you so much for having me. It's fantastic. I had a great time.